Hey everyone, welcome to my guide for how to get the coveted Foxhound rank in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater as a part of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. Let's talk a little bit about what's required to get the Foxhound rank. Starting off, you need to beat the game in either the Extreme or the European Extreme difficulty, and you need to beat the game in under 5 hours, which is pretty easy to do. You need to save the game 25 times or less as you play through it, and you need to beat the game with 0 kills, so this is a non-lethal playthrough. You need to beat the game with 0 alert phases, so be very stealthy and don't be seen. And to beat the game with 0 continues, so if something goes wrong, reload your last save. You cannot use life medicine to heal or special items like the Easy Gun, Stealth Camo, or Infinity Face Paint. And finally, you need to receive less than 10 life bars of damage. So if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and get started earning that Foxhound rank. Alright, to start off we have to choose how we want to play the game, so we're going to go to the new game and then choose the I like MGS 3 setting. That gives us some big advantages going forward. For the difficulty, we'll choose Extreme, although European Extreme would work. It is more difficult, so let's take the easier path, choosing the Extreme difficulty.
After the end of World War,
there's going to be a bunch of different cutscenes and radio calls throughout this playthrough. We're going to skip through all of them, so this isn't a story run or anything. We're just going to skip all the cutscenes. You can hit the crouch button to skip those quickly, and then you want to hold down the action button to skip through all of the radio calls. Once that's done, we're going to run up to this area. There's a log here. We're going to get down and then crawl under that log to get to the next area. Then stand up, run straight ahead to this climbing tree, and we're going to climb up to the branch. Now let's walk over toward the side where our bag is waiting for us. Then we can hop down, grab that thing, and we're going to be met with a bunch of different cutscenes and also radio calls. So let's get through all of this as quick as we can. Alright, starting off, we're going to now run up into the next area. There's just a short run to get into the Dramuji Swampland. Just run down this path through all the grass and you'll exit on the right side. Turn right at the end of the path and you're going to see a gavial on the ground right by the swamp. Run straight through its body, right in between its front and back legs, and then turn left and roll straight toward the tree on this little island. You can run right around and get past those other gavials and then roll across the swamp and just keep going until you get up to the next area. You'll go up and a little bit toward the left to get out of here. If you are running up a hill, it is faster to roll than to slowly run up there. So you can save a little time doing that. In the next area, skip the cutscene and the radio call, and we'll proceed on from here. All you have to do is run forward. There's going to be a couple guards walking around here, so line up your shot, shoot them once or twice. It doesn't really matter here. You don't really have to save ammo or anything like that, so one shot in the head will take them out, or you can do a couple body shots. It doesn't really matter, and eventually they will both pass out, and then we can proceed straight on down this path. It is a little bit beneficial to take your time on this part because there's going to be another guard walking around here, and if we were to shoot them really fast, we'd have to contend with this guard, but he's far enough away right now that he won't hear us running up this hill, and we're able to get out of here. So take your time if you want to, and that just makes the third guard a little bit easier to ignore. In the Lean of Odno, we'll skip the cutscene and then shoot down the hornet's nest right here. When the guard starts getting swarmed by the hornets, he's going to run away. We can just go down here now and wait right here at the end of the bridge. When you see the other guards get alerted, then you can start running forward. He's going to scare away all those guards and run over to the next area. Just make sure you stay in the middle of this bridge as you run so that you don't fall off, and then you can just follow them right toward the exit. If you take too long here, then the guards will come back, and that's very bad for us. So we want to just follow them out quickly, and we won't have any problems getting into Rasvet. Skip the cutscene and the radio call that you get, and then there's going to be a couple guards straight ahead of us. So let's take aim. There's one directly ahead of us. We'll shoot him, and then the one above him, there's one up on the upper walkway there we can shoot, and then one over on the left side. So we'll hit all of them. Don't worry if you get this caution. Cautions do not count as alerts here, so we don't have to worry about that. Once those 3 guards are gone and asleep, we're going to run into this main ruined building area, and we're able to kind of go straight ahead and then a little bit toward the right side. Be careful because there is a guard over on the left here. You can just take aim at him and shoot him. Once he's eliminated, then just step up here and run over toward the right side and into the room. You'll get a series of cutscenes here. Go ahead, skip through all of this stuff, and then we're going to be right outside with a bunch of knocked out guards that we don't have to deal with. So now we just have to run down the path the same way that we came up. We're going to exit that same direction, and that's going to be it for the Virtuous Mission. So pretty easy to get through here. We didn't save it one time. We're going to save our first save point until a little bit after this, but it really only takes like 5 minutes to do this part. So if you screw something up, you don't have a whole lot of rework to do in this section. So now that we're going through here, we're just skipping all of the different cutscenes and the radio calls, getting through all of that. When you have to heal yourself, you've got to use a couple things to heal up those deep cuts. You'll want to use the suture kit, the bandages, the styptic, and the disinfectant. And for the broken bones, you just need to use a splint and a bandage. So heal yourself up and then be done with this section, and we're going to move on through a whole bunch of cutscenes. So skip away, and when you're prompted to save it, don't save it. We'll save that first save point for a little bit in the future. A whole bunch more cutscenes and some radio calls that we have to get through. Let's skip all of this as well until we can get back into the action. So starting off, we're going to run straight ahead from where we are, and we're going to move up into the top area, kind of up and to the left. Just keep following this path, and you'll get into the next area of Dramuji North. Now keep running along here, and then you can just roll over the edge here and keep running down the path. You'll hear a horse whinny, and that's how you know you're getting close to the point where we have a bunch of cutscenes to skip through, and we'll get to the first part where we have to really interact with guards in a way that might cause you some issues, but I'll show you the easiest way that I found to get through this. What you want to do is run up and then press yourself right up against this tree. You do start off with some stun grenades, so equip those and wait. When the guard comes out and is just about to leave that grass, then look over the side and toss a stun grenade. You do that look by holding down the item select button, which on PlayStation is the L2 button, or on Xbox that would be the left trigger, and you'll pop out, the guards will see you, stop, and then you can toss your grenade, and then it's just a straight run back and to the exit into Dolina Vodno. Now here you can see we're still in caution, but we're going to save the game at this point. So go ahead and call paramedic and save our game. This is going to be our very first save. And you can see it comes in at a time of 6 minutes and 59 seconds. So at this point, what we want to do is to actually reset the game. What you can do is hold down all 4 of the shoulder buttons, which would be like L1, L2, R1, R2 on PlayStation, as well as the equivalent of the select and start. So on PS5, that's the touchpad and the options button. And if you hold down all 6 of those buttons for a few seconds, you'll go back to this main menu. You don't have to close and exit the game, anything like that. You can just hop right back into here. And we're going to go ahead and load the game from this point. So we're going to reload the save that we just did, and you'll see that now we're back right where we were, but there's no caution anymore. So we can walk ahead kind of slowly. There's a close guard that we do not want to see us, but we want the guard in the back to see us. He'll start walking, and when he gets right in line with his friend, go ahead, run down here, and then just run straight across the bridge. It's very simple to get through this without being seen. Again, stay right in the middle of this bridge. You don't want to fall off, and just keep going right around. There is a guard over on our left side, but he's looking the other way. We can run right past him and out the exit into Resvet. There's a couple things we want to do here. There are no guards, but we do want to pick up some items on our way. So let's run into that main ruined building once again. If you start heading straight back from this area, past the stairs on our left-hand side, you can go to the back left corner, and there's going to be some smoke grenades back here. Go ahead, pick those up, and then go into the building. There's going to be some boxes that you can climb up, so go ahead, climb up those things, and you'll want to grab the cardboard box at the top of the box structure here. So that's cardboard box A. Now we're going to run back where Sokolov was and enter this room. Immediately turn left, and then go ahead, open up this locker, and grab the thermal goggles inside, and we want to make some alterations to our face. So we want to put the brown face paint on, as well as choosing the Desert Tiger camo. That's going to provide us the advantage of having unlimited suppressor ammo. That's going to be very important coming up here. So when you leave, you get some more cutscenes, and then you're going to be prompted to save the game. We do want to save it at this point because it can be a little bit tricky. So here we go with save number 2, coming in at 8 minutes and 41 seconds. A couple more cutscenes we'll skip, and then right when the action starts, we want to go ahead, go into our backpack. We're going to grab that Mark 22, and we can put away the knife and the directional microphone. Now run around, go out of this room, and then hide behind these boxes right here. You want to go ahead, grab your stun grenade, and then crouch down. Start cooking that grenade in first-person view mode, and get up on your tiptoes as well. And when the guard says move for the second time, throw that stun grenade over there. That's going to blind and disorient the enemies. If any of them are still on their feet, go ahead and shoot them. At this point, there should be 6 enemies remaining. Then go back on the bed. Up on your tiptoes, you can shoot one guard out on the left side and another one out on the right side. Once those 2 are eliminated, then you want to go down through this trap door next to the bed. So we've got 4 enemies left, and at this point, it's kind of hard to screw things up. So you want to start to crawl over toward this side and then go over toward the right. You'll go outside of this little crawl space opening, and then stand up, run around the boxes, and knock on the wall here. Then go around the corner and climb up the ladder. When we knocked, we got the guard's attention up here. He's looking over to the side. That gives us a very clear shot at his head, so take him out. And now what we're going to do is head down toward these barrels. We can look out over this direction. Up on our tiptoes, we can shoot that guard straight ahead of us, and then run toward him at the edge of this fence here. We can turn toward the right and look down the pathway, and we can see one guard straight ahead of us. Now at this point, there is one more guard remaining. He's straight ahead of us from this position. So when we climb up here, we can look through this little crack and we can see him hanging out back there. So we'll just shoot him a couple times, and then we'll go over toward the right side. And while he is slowly going to be passing out, we're going to grab these Mark 22 bullets. And you can also run over here and loot some of these enemies just by picking them up and dropping them. They drop some pretty cool stuff here. You can get some new batteries for them, but you can also collect things like more bullets or silencers. So go ahead, grab that stuff if you want to, and then head on out the way that we came, and we're going to get another cutscene. So once you're through all that, you're back inside this ruined building. Just go back the way you came, and we're going to go over toward the exit. There is a container of bug juice on the way over on the right side behind these boxes. Make sure you grab that as you go out, and then just head straight on out this way. You do unfortunately need to go into the backpack to choose the bug juice. We can also grab our thermal goggles and our cardboard box on the way there too. So once we have all that, now we're just going to exit out here, and we're going to be in this giant lake area. What you want to do is head over toward the left side of this area, and when you get close to the edge of the water, go ahead and use the bug juice as well as to shoot the Gavial that's hanging out in the water here. So he is just in our way. We'll take him out quickly, and then, like I said, use that bug juice and then go into the water. Once you wade in about knee deep, then you can crouch down and you can start to swim through here. And we want to collect that Gavial meat and then just swim out and stick toward the left side. That bug juice is going to prevent us from getting any of those leeches, and that is just a drain on our stamina, and that's not fun. We also have unlimited breath because we have that brown face paint on, so don't worry about running out of air as you're going through here. You'll have unlimited oxygen as you swim around here. And once you get out of here, we're just going to continue running until we get a mandatory radio call. Skip through all of this and then proceed straight ahead into the next area. Be careful of traps on the way like this pitfall trap. You want to just run straight over it or go around it. Okay, now we're in Bolshaya Pass South. This is another good opportunity to save the game, so we're going to go ahead and call Paramedic, and we're going to use our next save.
Saving the game, Snake?
And this is going to be save number 3, coming in at a time of 12 minutes and 58 seconds. Let's run straight ahead and then crawl through the opening at the bottom of the right side of the fence. Make sure your Mark 22 is equipped because we'll need to use it in just a moment. Now stand up on this side and run straight toward the wall on our left, and then follow that wall around closely until you get to this outcropping. Then get down and crawl forward to pick up the Claymore mine on our path. From here, you want to look over by those dogs. There's 2 of them through the fence, so shoot both of those dogs, then quickly get up and climb the tree. When you get to the branch, you want to take 1 step over toward the right and then jump down across the other side of the fence. From here, just run forward and toward the left-hand side, and you're going to get up to a part where there's going to be 3 guards who can see you through the fence. But luckily, they're not able to do a lot other than walk around. See, they don't have a way to get to this side of the fence, so they're scripted to walk all the way around out of our way, which gives us a good opportunity to roll through the fence, and if that 3rd guard did not see us, then we're able to just shoot him on the way. There's going to be 1 dog on the other side of that fence ahead of us, so let's shoot that dog, and then we can crawl through the opening at the bottom side of this fence. So let's get through here, and then we're going to stand up and then run over toward the left and just kind of hug that wall all the way out into the next area. There's a guard who might see us around here, but it doesn't set off an alert or anything, and now we can go into Bolshaya Pass base. From here, let's turn left and then just run along that left-hand wall. We're going to get pretty close to this guard up ahead, but not close enough that he can see us. So there's a guard waiting for us over here. When you get reasonably close to him that you can get a good shot, just line it up and take him down. Then keep running along the side, and we're going to see another guard up by this building up ahead. So take aim at him through that little fence, and you can shoot him. And now we're going to keep running straight ahead. We want to get to the munitions building, which is in the back, because we're going to resupply our stun grenades over there. We've used a couple of them, and we want them back before the next boss fight against young Ocelot. So let's run in here, and we can grab some stuff like those stun grenades, and we also want to grab that AK-47. We'll be using that in a little while too. So now we're going to just run back following that same outside wall, and we will get close to the entrance, but before you go through it, you want to stop and then go into your camouflage, and we're going to change our uniform to the Oscam. That lowers the amount of damage that we take, and that's very handy for this next part. So once you have that, run into the next area. There's going to be some cutscenes, and you're going to start the boss fight. Immediately call Paramedic, because we want to save the game here.
You going to save?
This is save number 4, and it comes in at a time of 15 minutes and 40 seconds. So at this point, what you want to do is to grab your Mark 22, take off the silencer, shoot Ocelot, grab a stun grenade, throw it, then turn around, wait for it to explode, and then turn around, shoot him again, make sure you line up that headshot, and you're just going to go back and forth with throwing a stun grenade, and then you'll turn around to avoid the blast, and then turn around after it goes off, line up the headshot, shoot him like that. Keep going until you run out of stun grenades. You've only got 3 of them, so it shouldn't take too long to get through this part. Now, he did run behind this rock. A couple things you can do is to make sure that you shoot this Markhor. It's like a goat in the back. That does distract him. I got lucky too in that he started to yell at the other guards that came to back him up, and we got a pretty clean shot on him right there. So a nice little fight there. Just make sure you're alternating between those headshots and also the stun grenade for him. When you're in the cave, grab that animal's uniform, and then we're going to run straight ahead. I did digitally enhance this section. I made it brighter so you could see it a little bit easier, but you want to go through this crawl space kind of straight ahead from where you go down that path from the entryway. And now we're just going to crawl through this big tunnel till we get to the other side. At this point, if you did take some damage, you can recover your health pretty easily by equipping the DPM camo. That's a great way to double your health regeneration. You'll basically get one little sliver of health back every 5 seconds. So that does add up pretty quickly, especially when you have a long section like this as you're going through here. But the next boss fight isn't too bad damage-wise. After you get through that first crawling section, then you just want to run through the water and just kind of hug that right side. It'll eventually take you all the way up and through the path into the next area. From the entrance, let's stick toward the right side. We'll go down this narrow passageway, and that will take us to another wide open area. Make sure you grab the M37 shotgun on your way there, and also the Mark 22 bullets next to it. Then get down and start crawling through this crawl space. You're just going to go straight ahead, and then eventually it will open up. You can stand up, run a little bit further, and just keep going until you get toward the end of this area. So we grab the snow uniform on the way. We don't really need that one, but grab it anyway, just because it's right there, and why not? Now we're just going to crawl through another crawl space until we get to the other side. Now that we're through there, we can stand up, turn right, and then we're going to run over toward the side here. In the next area is where we come to the next boss, so make sure that you stop before you get there and then grab that M37. You also want to grab a healthy supply of grenades, so take any kind of grenade you have because they come in handy in this fight. Once you're all prepared, then run forward and you'll be put into a cutscene, skip that, and we're into a boss fight. Let's go ahead, call paramedic, and make another save before the boss fight against the Pain. So this is going to be save number 5 at a time of 19 minutes and 27 seconds. The Pain is definitely a pain. It's not a hard fight, it just takes a long time to do it. So what you want to do is start off by throwing a grenade, like a smoke grenade, over toward him, and then go ahead, grab that Mark 22 and take a couple shots at him. He's going to send some bees your way. Just hop into the water and then start swimming around. You want to swim over toward the other island, kind of on the back side of his arena, and there's going to be 2 ammo containers over here. One for the M37, that's on our right, and one for the Mark 22 on our left. That's really all that we need to keep up with this fight. So what you want to do is to shoot the different grenade things that he has. He'll send grenades in those big balls of bees, but you are immune to that grenade damage as you're going through the animation transition from going up and down onto this platform. So use that to your advantage. You can crawl up right on top of that grenade, and as long as you're moving up, then you won't get hurt by it. The quickest way to remove his bee armor is to just throw a grenade straight at him. So look at him, toss a grenade. When it goes off, then all those hornets go away and you can just shoot him a couple times. Take aim right around his chin area. His head sways back and forth a bit, so aiming for that chin is more consistent. Phase 2 starts off with bullet bees, and we're just going to dive into the water to avoid those. Because of our brown face paint, we have unlimited breath underwater, so stay down there as long as you need to, and then pop yourself back up here. He's going to throw some more pheromone darts at us. We can just jump out of the way of that. And when we're in the back side here, you can actually aim from the back part here in the water, and then you're able to take shots at him if he's exposed at that point. Otherwise, just stay underwater and then hop up when you need to. When he uses the Tommy gun, just stay right here behind this rock. We can stay right where this M37 ammo is, and he can't hit us here. He'll fire 2 series of shots at us. After that second one, go ahead and stand up. So take a shot if you're available to, otherwise you'll want to throw a grenade. If he ever disappears like this, jump down because he's about to appear on your platform and knock you into the water, and then go back to his main platform. So that's just kind of annoying. It gets us out of that rhythm. We're able to then just quickly get back up, and we're going to fight him off using that M37. I like to do 4 shots against him to remove those bees, and also use that tactical reload by equipping and unequipping that weapon quickly. So 4 shots with that M37 will remove the bee armor and give us a couple clean shots at him. If he forms a grenade, shoot it instantly because you can knock that grenade right next to him, and that will also blow off his bee armor. So we're just going to continue taking shots at him, trying to do as many headshots as possible. Body shots do very little stamina damage to him. You really need to focus on that head. So we're going to keep up with this and keep just shooting him as often as you can. He is kind of annoying with how quickly in phase 2 he regains his bee armor. So we just have to take our time. Like I said, it's not difficult. We're not taking really any damage throughout this fight. We're just having to deal with all of his shenanigans with putting his shield back on and then us having to remove it. But luckily, this platform, like I said, it does provide us a good opportunity to refill our ammo as necessary. You see here that a grenade landed on our platform, but I just jumped in the water and climbed right back up, and it didn't do any damage to me. So we have another opportunity here to do some shooting against him. He covered me in bees, so just shaking that analog stick got me out of that pretty quickly, and we can just go back to throwing grenades over at him, removing his bee armor, and taking a couple of shots. He's very low on stamina, and I probably could have finished the fight right about here, but I wanted to grab a little bit of that Mark 22 ammo. We just want to make sure that we're keeping up on that, because if we run out of that ammo, it makes it very difficult for us. So that's especially true going into the next areas. We want to keep up our supply of Mark 22 ammo, and we can just keep a healthy amount of it in this boss fight. So he did get a chance to use some more bullet beads against me. That's just a quick trip underwater to get rid of those things. And after he says his next line, then you can just climb back up and you're pretty safe. So another Tommy gun, we'll just hop down into the water again, and again stay right behind this rock platform, and he won't be able to do anything to us. There's the first round of shots. Now here comes the second one. And let's climb back up. So here all we have to do is to remove his armor once again. There's 4 shots with the shotgun, and then we'll take aim, shooting him one more time, and that'll be the fight. So all in all, about a 5-minute fight for this. Not very difficult, just kind of time consuming. And once that's done, we'll hop into the water and go out toward the cave entrance. We could pick up his camo, but we don't really need it for this run, so we're just going to go out to the cave entrance. This part's pretty simple. There's not really anything to do. We're just going to run along the path here. If you want to equip your cardboard box, you can go faster along the uphill areas. So if you're running up a slope, then grab that cardboard box and you can just go full running speed all the way through here. So once you get a little ways in, there's going to be some cutscene. Just skip that and then continue on using that box to run up the hill quickly and just go all the way until it opens up into a big area. So from here, just keep going straight ahead. There's going to be another narrow passageway, and you can run around through here if you want to. There is a snake on the ground here. Go ahead and shoot that one. It can become food for you if you really want it, so go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, we do have that gavial meat that we collected earlier. Let's keep going down through this passageway until we get out here. You want to run down this first slope until you get to this spot, and then just roll over the edge, and you can go fast down into this lower area. And now we're going to go out into the Ponizovia South River. We don't need the OSCAM uniform on anymore, so we can go ahead and change that. We don't really need to change our face paint or anything, but we want to go down and equip the DPM camo. That will just help us to refill any health that we might be missing. Now what you want to do is to go forward a little bit, and then you want to get down, so crouch down, and then just start swimming straight ahead. Hug the right side as you go. There are these searchlights from the guards up above us, but if you hug the right side, you can really get around all of this pretty easily. Even though we have a low camo index, they're still not going to see us. We'll just keep swimming with our brown face paint on. We can do this all in one breath, no problem, and we're going to get through toward the end, no issues whatsoever, as long as we avoid going directly into the middle of those spotlights. Okay, we've made it to the end. Now we can just go forward into the Ponizovia warehouse exterior. To start off, let's go ahead and save the game.
Saving the game, Snake?
This is going to be save number 6, and it comes in at a time of 26 minutes and 52 seconds. Don't feel like you really have to keep that close a pace with me, because there's going to be about 3 spare hours at the end of this run. Well, when we get control of Snake again, go ahead and lie down. You want to shoot the guard kind of straight ahead of us, and then there's another one back behind him. Then you can stand up and go over a little bit forward, and then hug that left side to go around. There is a guard over on the left side area, kind of down the dock behind the boat. So go around here, and when you can barely see him, then look over there. Tranquilize him to get rid of the threat. You can hear the summit growl now, and you can see that the hands are swaying a lot more. So what you can do to get around that is to equip the animal's camouflage that prevents your hands from shaking when you're hungry, but we're going to be eating pretty soon anyway, so don't worry about that. Up on the dock here, you can run around into these boats, and you can grab some stun grenades and Mark 22 bullets. We can also loot some of these guards to see what we can find for supplies. Here we got some more Mark 22 ammo and some smoke grenades next to him. If you want to loot this guy, let's go ahead and see what he has. He's got some more bullets for us that we don't really need so much. So once you're done having fun out here, go inside the Ponizovia warehouse. As you saw, our hands were shaking while we were trying to line up those shots, so let's take care of that. We're going to go into our uniform, and we'll put on that Desert Tiger so we have infinite suppressors, and then we're going to go into the food and eat one of our gavial meats, and that's going to give us enough of our stamina back so that our hands stop shaking from here. Okay, let's keep going, and we're going to go through the door and then over toward the left side here. If you climb up on this box, then you can look over the ledge and get up on your tiptoes. You can spot that guard walking away from us. And then if you go over toward the left side by this railing, you can look over toward the left. You can also lean left to get a clearer shot at the guards in this area. So there's going to be 3 guards that we can see right from this entrance. And then there's going to be another guard at the top of the stairs. So we're going to hop over this railing, and then the other guard is going to see us and start coming toward us. But we're not going to worry too much about him. We can just shoot him as he moves forward. There's one at the top of the stairs there. We'll just shoot him and take him down. So that's all the guards that we really have to deal with around here. Let's go through and loot some of the guards to see what we can find. We want some more of that Mark 22 bullets, so we got some from him. Now we can start heading up the stairs. We're going to pop in on this door right here. This is their food storehouse. We can grab some really good high quality food that gives us a ton of stamina back. So go ahead and grab all the stuff in there, and now we're going to go up the stairs and out the side. There's the red door in the back. Let's go through that, and that will take us into Graniny Gorky South. There are no guards in this area. We basically just have to run straight ahead. Just be careful of traps on the way out. And then just go straight through this forest until we get to the other side. When you get to the ledge, let's climb over that and then proceed on, and we can get into Graniny Gorky Lab exterior outside walls. This place is pretty easy, although there is a dog and a guard that we have to watch out for. So run forward and then stick toward the left side. You'll see the dog. That's not going to bother us. And then there's also a guard over here walking behind the fence. So we'll take aim and shoot him to knock him out. And then we can keep going all the way to the end of this fence. When you get to the end, then just crawl through the opening at the fence and go all the way through it. And once you're on the other side, then stand up, run forward. There's going to be a little hole in the wall at the bottom here by this grass. So go ahead and crawl through that, and that will take you to the inside walls. When you get inside, then just stand up, and we're going to run straight ahead, and there's going to be a guard straight ahead of us. So go ahead and shoot him. And once he's taking a nap, then we're going to run up and a little bit toward the left, kind of to the center of this area. Now we're going to go into our camouflage menu, remove our face paint, so no paint there, and we're going to equip the scientist uniform. That allows us to run through here. We can be seen by just about everyone except for other scientists, and it won't be a problem. And we'll go through the doors straight ahead of us. Start by running down the hallway and then over toward the right. There's a guard here. It doesn't matter. He won't stop us. Keep running all the way to the end of the hallway, then go right through the door and keep going straight past this guard, and then toward our left side as some stairs. We'll go down the stairs into the B1 West area. This is a good place to save just because there can be some issues moving forward through this area. There are some scientists that if they get a good look at you, it will set off an alarm and that alert counts against us. So we're going to go ahead and save it, slot number 7 at 32 minutes and 19 seconds. Now let's keep going. We'll go straight ahead and then over toward the right side. You can ignore this guard, and we're going to go into his room here, and straight ahead of us is going to be the SIG gas spray. That's very important for us moving forward through the rest of the game, so make sure you grab that, and then out into this hallway here. If you go through this door, you can go over toward the right. And now what you want to do is run straight ahead and bump into this guy. You have to bump him, otherwise he'll recognize you. But that buys us enough time to sneak right past him and into the room where we get all of the Granin cutscenes. Now, on the way out, we're basically going to do the same thing. Run straight ahead, bump into the guard, then turn right. Hug the left wall because otherwise that scientist will see you. So bump the first guard, hug the left wall as you run through the cubicles, and then it's just a clean sweep all the way through here. And we're just going to go backtracking the way that we came, and we'll be out of here in no time. Back on the first floor, just head straight up and then over toward the right side, go around the guard, and we want to go through this door straight ahead of us. So go through here, then turn left, just keep going to the end of this area, and then over toward the left side, there's going to be that door. So go through that red door, and now we're back to the inside walls area. Starting off from this entry area, we're going to go ahead and put on our brown face paint again, as well as change our uniform to that of the Flecktarn camo that has the interesting ability of giving us unlimited battery for the things that we have that are electronic. So very handy. And now that we're in the entryway, we're going to lay down and then look over toward the right side. There's going to be a guard over by this tree. We'll shoot him, and then we'll run over toward where these trucks are. Just be careful not to be seen as you go through here, and we should have a pretty easy way of just getting straight out of here. So double check, make sure that guard's not looking at us, and we can now go through that crawl space at the bottom of the wall again. Starting off on the outside walls, go ahead, stand up, and then run around the corner slightly. Then you can lay down and then take aim at the guard over here. Don't worry about his dog next to him. We only really need that guard. Then we're going to crawl under here. Make sure you get far enough through it that you can stand up without standing up into the electrified fence, because that will not be good, and it'll be pretty embarrassing to hit that. As you run through this area, you'll get close to where that exit is. For safety, go ahead and shoot the guard here. It may start a caution for you, but that's okay because cautions are allowed, and we can go into Graniki Gorky South where we have a boss fight against the Fear. Like usual, we're going to save it right at the beginning of this boss fight. We have a really fun trick that we can do that has a little bit of randomness to it, so that's why saving here is a good idea. This is save 8 at 35 minutes and 31 seconds. Starting off the fight, what you want to do is to run straight forward, and if you go around this big tree, there's a tripwire right in front of you. Stop before that, and then use the fake death pill to pretend to be dead right in front of that tripwire. The fear will think that we're dead and come over to investigate. He'll walk very close to us, and then he'll talk a little bit, and then eventually turn around. When he turns around, that's our cue to use the revival pill to stand up right next to him. Now let's go into our backpack, and we're going to change our weapons. We want that AK-47, and then we're going to equip our stun grenade, and we're going to throw one right at his feet. When it goes off, we want to run through that tripwire, activating the trap. It's going to hit him, and now grab that AK-47 and just destroy him. All the damage that happens at that time is considered stamina damage, and he'll be gone in a matter of seconds. So that's by far the easiest way to take him out. Make sure that you go into the cure menu and to cure yourself of whatever is ailing you at this point. An interesting thing about extreme difficulty is that if you naturally heal that red health that you're missing, it takes a long time, but if you can heal through that, you get a permanent boost to your health. So you can either heal that damage or not. You might want to play the rest of the game with an arrow sticking out of your leg. That's fine for the extra health, but with my strategies, you won't need any of that anyway. So we've made it through the Fear boss fight. We made it to the Ponizovia warehouse again. Let's go ahead and save it, because this part can be a little bit tricky and it's easy to get seen. So that's save number 9, about a minute and a half since the last time we saved it. Let's start running forward, and I realize that my stamina is a little bit low, so let's go ahead and try on that animal's uniform, the one that we got for taking out Ocelot in the first fight. And now our hands won't shake through this area. So let's run around these barrels here, and we're going to go up to this front corner of the walkway, this upper catwalk, and then we're going to grab our tranquilizer gun. There's going to be a guard kind of right on the ground in front of us, so shoot him. You might get a caution. That's okay. Some guards will come looking for him, and that's actually a little bit beneficial, because then they're going to come right into our view and we can take them out. So here he comes. If I was a better shot, I would have taken him out before anything happened, but I just have to deal with this and shoot him a couple times. He's out. There's going to be 2 more guards in this area. One is kind of toward the exit, the same direction that we were just looking over on the left-hand side. We can lean right to get a clean shot at him. And then there's another guard walking around here on the stairs, so we can take him out. And once all those guards are eliminated, then let's move down to the level right below us. We're going to go back inside that food storehouse and grab the refreshed items in here. So another calorie mate and some instant noodles. We're all good with that. And now we're going to actually use one of those calorie mates to get back all of our missing stamina. And once that's out of the way, we can switch our uniform, and we're going to go back to the previous camouflage, the DPM. So now that we have that, we're able to head on out here. We're going to be refilling any missing health that we have along the way, and we're basically going to get back to full health by the time we get to the next boss. So run up here. We're going to go out these red doors on the side here. If you want to grab any more ammo on the way, you can always loot the guards around here, and they should have a little bit of ammo for you. So there's some more Mark 22 bullets. That's kind of enough to get through this next part here. And we're going to go up and out the doors. Start by running up the hill on our left-hand side. There's going to be a mandatory call with Eva, so let's go ahead, skip through that, and then keep proceeding straight up the path. Keep going up this hill, and we're just going to exit the area from the top part here. Just keep going straight through the path. So we're in Svetogorny West. What you want to do is just run straight from the entryway here, and we're going to go up this big hill, and we're going to go through the grass, and then on the right-hand side, there's a little ledge here, a cliff. We want to hug the right side and then get down into the grass right where you see this big kind of log rock thing. And a guard's going to come walking through here in just a moment. We'll go ahead and shoot him. No idea how that wasn't a headshot, so I had to take 2 shots at him, but he's gone. He couldn't see us. We'll loot his body and grab some more ammo, and we should be all set now for that. and then turn toward the right, follow that right-hand wall into the next section here. There's a guard walking around here. Don't get too close to him or he'll hear you and turn around, so we'll just shoot him as we get reasonably close, and then keep on running through this area. We're going to hug the right-hand side for the most part going through this section. Be careful because there's a couple of guards wandering through here. So if you take your time, you should be able to get the jump on them, and we're able to see them and shoot them before they can see us. So right around here, there's guard walking from the left-hand side over toward our right. We can shoot him, and then we're going to continue on through the right-hand side. So hug that right wall as you go through here, and that's going to take us into Svetogorny East. All we really have to do here is to turn around because we want to enter Svetogorny West from this entrance, and we're going to get to the point where we're going to save it right here as we enter this area. The reason we do that is because the end boss fight is just ahead of us, and you don't want to save during that, because if you save during the boss fight and then have to turn the game off and come back later, it actually will work against you and you're going to be ambushed by the end, and that's not good. So we're going to save it before we even trigger the boss fight, and now all we have to do is do a very short walk to the next area to begin that fight. There is a guard walking in this section along the way, so just take him out, and then we're going to go just hugging that right hand side all the way into the next zone, and that will take us to where the end is waiting for us. So we're in Socorveno South. We did get a mandatory cutscene and a codec call. After that, what you want to do is to run a little bit toward the right side and get over past where this climbing tree is, and keep going, hugging the right hand side till you get to this little barricade here with the rocks. Now we're going to equip the spider uniform. That's what we picked up after the fear boss fight. It gives us 70% camo index, which is great, and that way the end won't see us. Even if we get caught in his trap here, he won't see us as we run through. The downside is that we're losing stamina very quickly, so we do want to get through this as quick as possible. When you get into this next little canyon area, we're going to unequip the camo that we had, and we can put on the Flectarn camo so that we have unlimited batteries. That helps with the thermal goggles if we have to use those going forward. So let's run up into this next area. This is Socorveno North. All we really have to do here is to run straight ahead using the box to go faster up the hills, and just keep along the left-hand side. You'll then loop around, and you're going to go kind of back the way that you came. So go around these trees here, and then keep hugging that left-hand side to get to the next zone. When you get up here, then just run straight ahead through this pathway, and you'll get into another area. So just kind of straight through this whole path back to Socorveno South. Be very careful because the end is right in front of us. What you want to do is to go into your weapons, and you want to grab that SIG gas spray, and you also need to have your stun grenades and your Mark 22. That's really all we need here. You can grab a stun grenade and then use it to cook the grenade holding down that weapon button, and now we can run straight ahead without the end seeing us because this masks our noise as we run. Get right up behind him, and then you want to grab that SIG gas spray and spray him right here. That'll do a lot of stamina damage to him. Then grab your Mark 22 and hold him up. And once he starts to go down on the ground, then you can grab that SIG gas spray again, hit him with that. Now grab a stun grenade, and you want to throw it directly at his body. You want to actually hit him with the grenade. That will stun him a little bit. Go back to the SIG gas spray, and you want to make sure that you're looking away from the flash grenades, otherwise it will hit you. Didn't work out so well for me there, so I did happen to get hit by that, but putting on that cardboard box allows us to avoid a lot of that flash grenade brightness, and we can follow him out pretty quickly. So we're into the next area, and he's around here somewhere. Sometimes he is straight ahead of us, so be very careful as you go through here. You can either crawl around here, or you can also do your stalking walk. Use your controller's directional pad to do that instead of using one of the analog sticks. So the end is a little bit ahead here. What we're going to do is equip a grenade. We can then cook it, run right up on him. So we found him. We're going to get very close to him again and kind of do the same thing that we did before, where we can equip that SIG gas spray. We can hit him with it. Then we can switch over to that Mark 22. We'll hold him up from here. I did just get the shot in on him, and I tried to hit him with that smoke grenade, but he's going to retaliate with his own flash grenade, and we can equip the box to eliminate all that brightness, and now we're going to follow him to the next area. You really can beat him in like 1 or 2 zones if you're really efficient at it. I'm not super great at that, but I'll show you kind of how to sneak up on him and to get the better of him here. So he is in this zone. We just need to be a little bit careful as we go forward. So walk around here, and we don't want to be seen. If you equip the thermal goggles, then you're able to see his foot tracks in the ground. We'll see that he's running around this area, so we'll just kind of work our way through here. And I figure that maybe he's, wanting us to follow him the way that he went. So we're actually going to go the opposite way. We're going to go over here and then hop down this ledge here. So now that we're down here, we figure that he's going to be in this area straight ahead of us here, and I can see that his foot tracks go that way, and we will get hit if we go that direction. So instead we're going to go this opposite direction, being careful to slowly go around this rock. He's actually over straight around this rock here. You can barely see him over in the distance there. He gets frustrated because we're not falling for his traps. And what we can do is to grab the Mark 22, and we're going to just take aim at him over there, and we can get a couple really solid shots off here, and we can do some good stamina damage toward him. He's going to then start running away, so we're going to equip that box, and we're going to give chase. And we're just going to follow him the direction that he's going. So at this point, you can kind of use your eyes just to see where the foot tracks are. You can usually see, little indications on the ground. Otherwise, you'll just kind of follow the path up along this way using those thermal goggles as well. So we're getting kind of close to where we think he's going to be. He likes to set up in a nearby sniping position. Here's that stalking walk that I talked about earlier, just by using that directional pad. He can't hear us when we're walking in this way. So we're just going to sneak up behind him. Don't go too close to his sides. If you're too close to the edges of his peripheral vision, he'll see you. So go more straight from the back, and you're able to get very close to him using that stalking walk. So now that we're right here, we're going to SIG gas spray him again, do some good damage. We can hold him up again. And you can either shoot him or go back to the SIG gas spray. If you hesitate for too long, he's going to retaliate and throw that stun grenade. So let's try to do the best that we can, keeping him in position here. And we're got him just to a sliver right now, and right now he's going to start running away, so we're going to use that box and just follow him as best we can, and we're going to see that he's going to be escaping in this direction. Just keep on him. You don't want him to get too far away from you. You really just want to be able to follow him and not let him get out of your sight, because that's when things get dangerous. So the box is very handy for keeping up with him. He's very spry running up these hills, better than what we can do, and I can see that he's kind of getting in position up here. So I'll just take a couple shots at him and we'll knock him down, and that will be the end of the fight. So not the quickest fight in the world, but definitely a good fight overall, and we got through it. So after that, we're going to hop down the ledge and then run over toward the side, and we can grab the Mazinagant. A very important weapon, comes in handy a lot going forward. So make sure you grab that. And now we're just going to go up here and go around toward the right side. Once you're up on this upper level, then just stick toward the left wall, and you're able to run around, and that will take us right into the tunnel where we need to go. So here we have the Krasnogorje tunnel. All we really have to do is run straight forward. There's a ladder right ahead of us. Really cool trick that you can use to prevent yourself from losing a lot of stamina is to take off all the things that you have. So go into your backpack, unequip all of your weapons, unequip all of your items that you have. If you're carrying nothing, if it's all stored in your backpack, you're not going to lose stamina nearly as quickly. So it's a good way to preserve stamina and not risk, falling off the ladder or something if you happen to run out of stamina on the way up. And we don't have to use any food at this point either, so we can eat a little bit later on. Now just climb up the ladder and enjoy the tunes on the way up. After the ladder, let's run forward. Before we go out the door, though, we're going to stop and open up the survival viewer. We want to go ahead and eat a meal. We'll take a calorie mate that will fill up our missing stamina. And then after that, we're going to go into our backpack. Inside the weapons, all we really need is the Mark 22 and the Mosin-Nagant. We don't need any other weapons at this time. And then go into your backpack, and we're going to grab those thermal goggles and the cardboard box A. So once you have those items, that's all we need. We're going to then put on our uniform as the Desert Tiger. It not only gives us good camouflage in this area, but we also get to save all of our suppressors. And that's going to be handy because we have a lot of guards to take out moving forward. And we don't want to run out of our suppressor as we do that. We're in the Krasnogorje mountain base, and this is a good place to save it. So let's open up the radio, call paramedic, and we're going to save the game. This is going to be save number 11, and it comes in at a time of 52 minutes and 33 seconds. Let's start by running forward and then turning left and running up this hill. Now, this is a hill, which means that we're going to be running pretty slowly through this area, and this area has a ton of terrain changes, so putting on that box allows us to run through here very quickly. And we're going to stick toward this outside left edge and run around until you get to the hill before the one with the vulture on it. So keep going and then stop right about here at the top of the hill. Then we're going to grab that Mark 22 and shoot the guard ahead of us. After that, put your box back on and keep running till you get to the hill just past this big rock here. Stop and then shoot the guard who's walking in front of us, and then also the guard in the distance on the right side. Once they're gone, then put the box back on and run along this outside edge until you get to the big rock. Stop in the middle of it, take the box off, and now get down and crawl through this opening. There's a lot of Mark 22 bullets in here, so we can pretty much resupply everything that we've used and have full ammo again. Keep going through this crawl space until you get to the other side. At that point, you can stand up, put the box back on, and run along the edge toward the exit. There's normally a guard here, but because we shot that guard in the distance, he went to go pick up that other guard who's now asleep, and we can escape without being seen. Now at this point, we're going to look up and shoot the guard at the top of the hill here, and then there's also one a little bit lower and to the left. So we'll take out those two guards that we can see from the entrance, and then we're going to get our box again so we can run quickly up this hill. You don't want to go all the way up though, you want to stop a little ways up because there's actually a guard waiting for us here. So we'll take the box off, and then we're going to start crawling around the outside of this area. We've got good camo so he can't see us. When we get to the end of that little rock wall, we can get on our knees and then shoot him from this position, and he goes down without a fight. Now we're going to keep going up this hill. There's nothing that we need to do here because we took out that guard, and we'll keep going toward this anti-aircraft gun and then around the corner. Let's keep working our way around here, and when you get to this rock, stop, because there's going to be a guard right around the corner. What we can do is get down and crawl, and we're going to go just to the side here where we can barely see him, and then we can go into first person view and lean over toward the right side. We can then shoot him and move around and get through here really without any issues. If you want to, go ahead and loot the guards if you want to see if you can get any more ammo or suppressors or anything. I got a grenade out of him. Let's keep running around this little trail until it opens up and we can see some more, and there's going to be a guard straight ahead of us, so go ahead, grab your Mark 22 and shoot him to get rid of him. It'll probably set off a caution, but don't worry about that. We'll run a little bit further ahead, and then we can see another guard between the buildings, so we'll take him out, and then we're going to run forward and into the munition shed on the right side. We want to go down inside here, and the RPG-7 is waiting for us, so grab that, and then hop back up, and we're going to proceed up and between these two buildings. Be careful though, because there is a guard right here. You just want to make sure he's not looking your direction, and then shoot him, and we can go into this building that has a bunch of food for us. So we'll resupply on all that stuff, and then we will go out where this guard was. We can shake him down for some Mark 22 bullets, and then we can proceed out the exit right next to his body. Now at the Krasnogorje mountaintop, this is a good place to save it because there's a lot of guards here and it can go bad, and we really don't want to do all the work that we've just done going through the last two areas. So we are going to save it yet again. This is going to be save number 12 for us, and it comes in at a time of 56 minutes and 12 seconds. From the starting position, grab your Mark 22 and shoot the guard up and to the left on the top of this hill. A body shot is good enough. You don't have to hit his head. Then shoot the guard down here on the ground. Now we're going to run forward a little bit, and we're going to wait until he says just my imagination and starts to walk away. We can then shoot the guy in the trench over on our left side. Keep running up this path, and we're going to go over toward where this red door is on the left side. Once you get right in front of it, you can look straight down this trench, and you can shoot the one guard at the bottom, and then there's also a guard at the top part here. So take out both the guards in the trench and above the trench, and then continue running forward. When you get to the guard in the trench, you can shake him down to get a little bit of Mark 22 bullets, so we're going to resupply here, and then continue up this path. Now there is a guard who is patrolling down the trench this way, so we don't want to run around the corner. Instead, you want to hop up onto this little ledge, and when you're at the top, you should be able to see his head over in the trench. He's walking down. Just wait until he turns around, and when he does, then walk carefully over toward him just to get a cleaner shot at him and take aim at his head and take him out. Now we're just going to go into the trench and go over toward the right side and follow this around. It's going to take us to the exit. So that's a pretty nice way of getting through that area without being seen. And there's the red door at the top of the trench, so we're going to run up here in the box to make it a little bit faster, and we're able to then get into the mountaintop ruins. There's a bunch of cutscenes. We can skip through all of this, and now we're going to just turn around and go back into the building. From here, you can grab a couple instant noodles if you want to, and then run down and out the red door. Now, if you're a little too hasty going through here, you can be seen, so I'm going to take it a little bit cautiously. We're going to wait right around here for the guard to come through. It's a guard with a flamethrower, and we don't want to be seen by him because we get the alert, so we're going to be patient and wait for him for just a few seconds to walk over in this direction. We'll see him, and he'll start to climb up onto these ledges. We can then just shoot him in the head and proceed on. So once he's gone, we'll hop up on these ledges. On the left side, there's a slope that you can go down. We'll just hop down here, and our red door exit is just ahead of us. So we'll run in here, and we can get through that in just a few seconds without being seen. Well, now we're in the Groznygrad underground tunnel. We're going to go down the stairs. If you roll, you can go a little bit faster than if you walk down all the stairs. But, you know, timing isn't a huge thing in this game. We're going to finish with like 3 hours to spare, but these little tricks just save a little bit of time for you. Now in this hallway, what we want to do is to change our face paint to black, and we're also going to change our uniform to black. That way we can hide from the next boss a little bit easier. And in the backpack, just make sure that you have that Maznagant and the M22, very important weapons for this. And we have our cardboard box thermal goggles, and those are very useful items for us to use in this boss fight. So run forward until you get to the end in the red fence, and then walk around toward the left side. When you get to the end, you don't have to take the ladder, you can just roll off the side, and it will immediately put you into the boss fight after a cutscene. So what we want to do is go ahead and save the game. This is kind of a tricky fight to do. I failed a lot of times doing this, so it is a good place to save. This will be save number 13 at a time of 59 minutes and 42 seconds. What I like to do to start the fight is just to run down to the end of the hallway, just straight from where we start, and we want to hop up onto this back ledge here. From here, we can grab our thermal goggles, and we'll look down these different hallways until we can see his body heat. So we see that he's coming from the left side of this one. Grab the Maznagant and use L1 to look in the first person view. What you also want to do is hold down the R1 button as well, the normal first person view button, and you can shoot and then unequip and re-equip to do that tactical reload. And if you hold down both the L1 and R1 buttons, or the right and left bumper buttons, you're able to keep that first person view and that aim really steady, and you can equip and unequip the weapon 3 times to get some good damage in on him. He's almost half done after that first attack. Now what we have to do is be kind of careful where he's coming from. He can really show up anywhere, so you want to be a little bit careful. But if he does hit us, what we can do is to equip that cardboard box, because it will immediately extinguish the flames. So that's a good way to run through the fire or to put out the fire, just by putting that box on. So we see that he's coming at us. We're going to hit him a few times with that Mark 22. You don't want to have your suppressor on here because you don't want to waste the suppressor as you're running through here. All the boss fights, you don't need to stay quiet or anything like that. So he's going to start to count down at this point. It's a good opportunity to get in some shots toward him. He's going to come flying at us, and we barely dodged him from here, but you can actually knock him out of that countdown if you hit him fast enough. So he's running around here. Thanks to our camouflage, he's not able to see us very well, and that's definitely why we put it on. If you have a bunch of fire in your path, you can put that cardboard box on to run through it without being seen. And we're going to just kind of play chicken with him and stay out of his sight. I like to also lean around corners to get shots in. It's a little bit riskier if your whole body is exposed. It's a lot cleaner if you can just pop around the corner by leaning and then shoot him a couple times and then get out of there if he sees you. So we did get hit, unfortunately, but you'll see that I'll stand up, throw that cardboard box on as soon as I can, and that puts out the fire and I can escape from him. So he's getting kind of low on health here. I can lean around this corner, kind of track him as he's going. He's going around the side here. And what I'm going to do now is to do a little trick to try to draw his attention. If you just shoot the wall over there, he'll run over and try to investigate because he thinks that you're over there. And when he comes around this corner, then I'm able to finish the fight by shooting him a couple times. Kind of a tricky fight. It might take you a few times. Remember that if you lose, don't choose continue, choose to exit, and then reload that save at the beginning of the fight. After that, go ahead and run forward. You can grab his camo if you want to. Doesn't really matter because it doesn't have much use for us. All it does is it prevents us from taking fire damage, but we're not going to take any of that going forward. And then we take the ladder up into Grasnygrad Southwest. We can skip the cutscenes, and when we're outside, we're going to save the game one more time.
You want to save?
So here we have save number 14 coming in at a time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 42 seconds. So we're about halfway through the game at this point. So from here, what we want to do is make sure that we have our Mark 22 equipped and silenced, and then we're going to run up the red stairs on the side. We're going to go between these boxes and then look over toward the right side. There's a guard at the end of this hallway, so go ahead and shoot him and then run over past his body. Stay a little bit on the left side because there are some guards patrolling on the right side that we can't see. And then we're going to run around here and go into this door. Now we're in Grasnygrad Northeast. What you want to do is turn toward the right and then run alongside this right side wall. You'll go around this bunker area, and then there's a guard straight ahead of us, so shoot him and then shoot his friend right behind him. Following that, run forward, and you want to look over toward the left side. There's a guard who can barely see us, but we'll take him out before he's a problem. And then there's also a guard on the right side a little bit ahead between these boxes. So shoot them, and then turn around, go back, and we're going to shake down this guard. He's going to drop some Mark 22 bullets for us. After that, we're going to run straight ahead and we're going to hop up into the truck right in front of us, because inside of that, there's some more Mark 22 bullets. And then we're going to go over toward the truck just to the side here. We can hop up and grab some stun grenades. After we have all of that, we're going to run into this red door. We're now in the Grasnygrad Weapons Lab East Wing. Starting off, we're going to call paramedic and we're going to save the game again because we don't want to be spotted in this area. So this is going to be save number 15, coming in at a time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 20 seconds. After you save it, let's go into the survival viewer, and then we're going to change our face paint to the no paint option. So select that, and then go to uniform and select the scientist uniform so we have a nice disguise for this area. The guards won't be alerted if they see us here. So run straight ahead and then go up these stairs. Now before you proceed on, you want to go into your backpack and equip the cigar gas spray. We're going to use that against a couple guards coming up, so run forward and then toward the right. There's a guard right here. We'll wait for him to come around and then we're going to gas him. Go ahead and grab his body and just drag him slightly out of the way. You can just put him right behind this wall. And now we're going to run to this side of this door and just wait, because we're going to have our target, Rykov. He's going to come through here and we're going to get close to him and then gas spray him. He's out, and now we can just drag his body toward the camera, and then we're going to go over toward the right side going along this upper walkway. So we can see the upper walkway here, go over toward the right side, and because we're dragging him, we have his security clearance to go through this door that's normally inaccessible to us, and we're just going to drag him right around this partition into the room with the lockers. There'll be some cutscenes here, so skip that, and now we're going to go into our camouflage tab, equip the mask, as well as the officer uniform that's right next to the scientist one that we're currently wearing. Now that we're dressed like the officer, we're going to run around and go through this door. This is the Grasnygrad Weapons Lab main wing. All we have to do is run around this long hallway until we get to the other side, and then go through that door. So now we're in the West Wing corridor. All we have to do from here is run straight forward. And we'll stop here, we'll get a little scene, and then just press the action button, you'll do a salute, and then they will salute you, and you can walk in with no problems. Okay, we have a couple more cutscenes here. Let's just skip all of that, and we do not want to save the game when prompted. So what you want to do is to hold down the item select button on PlayStation, that's L2, or you can use the left trigger if you're on a different controller, and just hold that down and wait until it stops talking. So we'll have this kind of interrogation scene where we can't see anything, and eventually then Volgin will stop talking. That's your cue to quickly let go of L2 and then hold it again. So there'll be certain times where the dialogue pauses, and then just let go of L2 and then push it again. And we're going to do that a couple times as we go through here. You do want to hold L2 throughout the entirety of the time when you are getting punched by Volgin, because this prevents us from taking any damage. Otherwise, we're going to take a whole ton of damage, and we don't want any of that. So we'll use this little trick to get through this section, and we will go through it really without being harmed at all.
Now then, I hope you'll prove more entertaining than he was. But first, let's take a look at your body, shall we?
So after he wants to look at your body, that's when it's going to get very quiet for us. That's our cue that we want to let go of L2 and then immediately start holding it again.
What a beautiful body you have, like a newborn baby. But not for long.
After he says, but not for long, that's another time that you have to let go of L2, and then now we're going to hold it through the rest of the punching sequence.
Let's get started.
If you let go too early, you will then incur all the damage that you would have taken. So make sure you hold it the entire time.
Is it the Shagohod? Or Sokolov? Or maybe it's the Legacy? Answer me! Who is helping you? Who let you in here? You're a tough one, but even you must have your limits. And I am a patient man.
Alright, you can let go of that button now. We successfully made it through without taking any damage. So once that's all done, you get all of your cutscenes and stuff. We're going to go ahead and then call paramedic, and we're going to save the game when we're inside of the torture room. Here we have save number 16 at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 24 seconds. Starting off, run forward and grab the fork right in front of us. Then we're going to open up the survival viewer to the cure menu and use that fork to dig out the two things that we have, the bullet, which is really the fake death pill, as well as the transmitter to make things easier. We're going to stand right in front of this door here, and then what we want to do is to use the fake death pill to pretend to die. We're going to fall down right here, and we're going to wait until the guard who is not alerted at our presence, he is going to inspect our body and then start running away and toward the left. As soon as he gets past us, use that revival pill, and then go ahead and equip the single action army with no bullets, but run over here and then use the punch button to pistol whip him. You want to hit him a total of 5 times. So you hit him 3 times and then 2 or 3 more. He'll be knocked out. And then we can loot his body. We want to grab a couple things while we're here. We can grab some smoke grenades as well as some instant noodles. And those are very helpful for us. So let's eat those instant noodles just to get all of our stamina back. We won't have a rumbly tummy or anything like that. And then we can run ahead toward the gate here, go left, and then around and out the door on our right side. Starting off here, you want to run forward and then stop right before you get to the end of this wall. Watch the guard and see when he turns around. As soon as he does, then you want to run straight ahead toward the wall, go all the way to the wall, and then turn right. Go along the edge of the wall, and then when you get right around to the end of the barrels, you want to roll forward into a crawl. And we're going to stay right around here, keeping those boxes between us and the guard. We'll keep an eye on him thanks to our handy camera work, and then when he turns around, we can stand up and run through here and go down into this crawl space, going into the next area. So in Groznygrad Northeast, just stand up and run along the outside wall here on our left side. You don't want to go through the door, so just run past that, but keep going, and you can do a roll right around here just so that the guard doesn't see you, and we're going out into Groznygrad Northwest. In this section, you're going to run forward and then over toward the right side. We need a couple guards to get a little glimpse at us and start walking toward us. So the first one is between the second and third row of tanks, and then we're going to run around the bottom part here. That other guard at the end will see us and walk toward us. And when we get around the sides of the tanks here, we'll grab a smoke grenade and start cooking it, but not throw it. Remember, this allows us to run without making any footstep noise. That allows us to get very close to our next victim without him hearing us. So run around the searchlights, around all the guards here, sticking toward the left, and then we're going to run right up behind this guard here at the end of the stairs. We'll grab that single action army again and start pistol whipping him into submission, and once he's gone, then we can walk forward past all of this stuff. So there's the guard that we knocked out. There's also going to be this dog. If we walk quietly, he won't hear us, and we're going to sneak right on past him and go over toward this back section with a bunch of pipes. All we have to do from here is to lay down and then crawl under the pipes until the game takes over for us and cause a snake to run down into the ladder area. There you go. The game is doing this automatically and taking us down into the sewers. We have a mandatory radio call, so just skip past all of this, and then we're going to be back in control of Snake. From here, what you can do is go over toward the side. You can then jump over this ledge and do a drop and grab. So hit the crouch button and then start smashing the action button, and you're able to lower yourself down pretty quickly. And now just go down into this area, and we're going to run down the middle of this whole sewer pipe here. And when we're getting down toward the end of it, we'll go over on the left side, hop up on the ledge, and then start crawling through this crawl space. When you get to the other side, stand up, and then we're going to run around toward our right, and we're going to crawl through the next crawl space. Now stand up, hop into the water here, and then go over toward the other side, go up the stairs, and then run past the first entryway, and then go past these stairs and into the next entryway on the right side. You'll crawl through this crawl space, and then you'll stand up and turn toward the left and then run around and go through the next crawl space. Once you're through, let's get up, go down into the water, and run toward the light at the end of the tunnel. There's some cutscenes here, so let's skip that, and then we're down into the boss fight against the Sorrow. Now, what you can do if you want to save some time is just to drown yourself right here. You can lay down in the water, and you'll be able to use up all of your stamina. You'll eventually lose all of your life down there. But what I like to do is actually go through the boss fight to the end, because there's two things we can do on the way. Number one, we're going to check to make sure that we haven't killed anyone, because any guards that we've killed will show up in this spot. So this is a good way to verify that you're at 0 kills so far. You do want to dodge the Sorrow's attack when he does his big charge up spirally thing. Just kind of walk diagonally toward the other side. So just kind of walk along one of the banks here. I usually like to stick toward the left side, and then whatever side he's on. So if he's on the left side, we'll go over toward the right side if he tries to attack us. And if he's on the right side, then we'll walk toward the left. Don't worry about these bosses that do a little bit of damage to us if they bump into us. They're not going to do enough damage to really matter at all for us. And we're just going to go all the way down toward the end. So we can double check for guards. That's the first thing that we're doing. And also when we get to the end, if we're able to touch his body, we get the spirit camo at the end. And it's not super critical, but I do like that, especially for a part way at the end of the game. So I'll be showing you what that looks like a little bit later on. So we'll just keep going all the way down through the end here, making sure that we haven't killed any guards, avoiding the bosses, avoiding his big spiral swirl attack, and then we're going to go touch his body and end this fight. I'm going to speed it up here just so we can get to the end a little bit faster and you can see what happens at the end. So we're walking up on him, he's hovering over his body, just walk straight into him, and that's going to make us collapse into the water, and it looks like we get a game over because Snake is dead. However, we will use the item, the revival pill, and we're going to come back with a cutscene and then a radio call. We'll just skip through all of this, and then we will be safe and sound on the other side. Now, normally this area is filled with Ocelot guards, but because we use that fork to remove the transmitter, we're able to get through here without anyone really bothering us. And we're just going to run around the outside part here and get around toward this log that's over top of the river here. It acts as a bridge. So here's that log. We're going to now climb up, go across the bridge, and then over toward the right side. Follow that stream all the way down toward the end. And what you want to do is to hop off on the side here and then just run around, and we're going to get to this big open pool at the end of the area. You don't have to go into the pool, instead just run around toward the right side and you're going to go behind the waterfall. We have a whole bunch of cutscenes here, so we'll skip all this. We don't have to save it at this point either, so skip through everything, and then what you want to do is, when you're in control of Snake once again, you'll just turn and then start heading down this hallway here. So there's another suppressor for the Mark 22 on the way. Grab that if you want to. We don't really need it though, and then we're going to just head all the way down toward the end. You can stop in here to grab some Mark 22 bullets. And we're just going to keep going down toward the end. At the very end, you can see the barricade here. There is a cardboard box if you want to pick that up. And then we're going to go inside the nearby door and then climb up the ladder. Another cutscene that we can skip. And then what you want to do is to call paramedic, and we're going to save the game now that we're back inside of Groznygrad. So here we go, save number 17, comes in at a time of 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 15 seconds. After that save, we're going straight into the survival viewer, and we're going to go into our backpack, into the weapons, and we're going to get rid of our fork and grab that Mark 22. We don't need the single action arm anymore, but we do want the Muzzin-Nagant, the RPG-7, stun grenades, and the C3. So once we're all kitted out, what we're going to do is grab that Mark 22, look immediately to our left side, there's going to be a guard over here. Let's shoot him, and ideally you get the headshot. If not, he will probably go into caution. Just finish him off and then run around this truck and just kind of go around here. These guards might get a glimpse at you. Don't worry about that though. They won't be close enough to actually see us, and we just have to run around the guard and go out this red door next to the truck. In the next area, go right, and then run around toward these boxes, but wait a little bit back. There's a guard running drills back and forth. We just have to avoid him and then go up on past this next warehouse. And we're right back to this area that we were before, where we can shoot this guard straight ahead of us, and then there's going to be one a little bit further up in front of him, and then another one beyond him a little bit over toward the right hand side. So we're going to shoot this guy between the boxes here, and we can do the same thing where we're going to grab the item inside of the truck right in front of us. So once that guard's gone, go ahead, hop up here. We can grab this Mark 22 bullet and then run around the truck and go into the weapons lab once again. Let's go back to our old trick of dressing up like a scientist, just so we don't have to worry about any guards and we can run through this area pretty quickly. So we don't have any face paint, the scientist uniform is on. We're going to turn left and go down this hallway toward the stairs. Just follow the dark colored strip on the ground that leads you right where you need to go, and go up the stairs and into the room here. We're going to run around into the area where we stashed Rykov's body with all the lockers. If you turn left here, go to the locker that's not all the way on the end, but the one right next to it. That's where we can find the maintenance uniform, and the locker across from it with the red stripe across it, that's where we can grab the sneaking uniform, and that's going to be very handy going forward. When we go into the main wing, we do have a mandatory cutscene and a radio call, so let's skip through all of this as quickly as we can. The scientist uniform is now useless to us, so let's put that away, and instead we're going to equip the maintenance uniform that we picked up moments ago. Again, no face paint for this section. And then you can just roll right off the edge and then proceed over across the room to the other side. The guards won't be suspicious of us here, but the maintenance workers will, so keep your distance from them, but we can run right past this guy without any issue. We're going to keep running straight ahead. There's going to be this big fuel container right around here, so we're going to equip the C3 and then we're going to plant it on the ground right next to it. And now we can just head down the stairs nearby. We're going to go around this guard here. See, he doesn't care. And there's going to be a new fuel container right at the bottom of this area. As soon as you plant it, you do get a mandatory radio transmission. So go ahead, skip through that. And now we're going to run around these trucks and go kind of to the opposite corner of this room here. There's going to be another fuel container behind this big box. So put that down and then run up here. There's going to be our final fuel container right around here. Now, if you want to equip the sneaking uniform before doing this, otherwise you'll just have to change your uniform when the boss fight starts after we save it. So either one, you can do it, but we now have a save point. We don't want to save it here. Instead, what we're going to do is skip past all these cutscenes, and now that the boss fight starts, we're going to call it and save it. That just saves us from having to skip all those cutscenes if we don't do well on this boss fight. So we are going to save the game right here. This is save number 18 at a time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 13 seconds. Starting off the fight, we are going to switch our maintenance uniform for the sneaking uniform. This provides us the advantage of taking less damage, so we actually take half damage when we wear this thing. Pretty handy going forward. Run straight ahead and then CQC slam him into the ground and then roll over his head. Then what you want to do is stand right here to the side and equip your Mark 22. You can take off that suppressor, and then when he starts to power up, just run behind him, shoot him a couple times using that tactical reload. Go across the side of the room here, and what you want to do is get him into this loop where you basically run around here, equip your weapon for a second. When he starts to charge up, unequip the weapon, run around to his side, slam him, and then roll over him. Go across here, equip your weapon. When he charges up, unequip it, run around, slam him, roll over him, and just keep doing this until we get into phase 2. Now, sometimes what he will do is he will yell up at Ocelot because Ocelot's cheering you on instead of him. That gives you a good opportunity to just shoot him in the back of the head with the Mark 22 from behind. So you can't do anything from the front shooting him, but you can always hit him from the back with that. After phase 1, you get some cutscenes, so skip that, and then immediately run forward and roll into a crawl. You can stand up right after his bullet barrage, and if your timing is good, you can do a quick CQC slam there. Otherwise, wait until you have an opening after he does some attacks, and then slam him and roll over him again. At this point, I like to stay pretty close to him, just kind of running in a circle. We should be able to avoid his attacks and be close enough to quick counter CQC slam him when he finishes his attack. So you're looking for times where he does things like kind of an uppercut thing, or tries to, do an elbow down or anything like that. And those are good opportunities to grab him and to slam him into the ground. When he gets low on health, he may try to electrify the floor, run toward the line, and then roll over it, and then it's going to come back the same way, so roll over it, and now stick toward a corner, and you should be able to roll over it pretty easily like that. And we're going to counter attack and slam him, and roll over him. He's very close to the end here, so what you can do, just to kind of tease him a little bit, is to put on that mask. That's going to cause him to notice you, and he'll chase after you a little bit, run around behind him, and you get a good opportunity to shoot him in the back a few times with that tranquilizer. We almost got him down. He just has a sliver left, so we'll be careful. We'll get down on the ground to avoid this attack, and then we're just going to slam him one more time, rolling over him, and he will give us the Cold War camo. This is really important to pick up and to use in the next section, so we'll take off the mask and we'll put on that Cold War outfit, because that means that the enemy will not attack us from the front. So that's really handy, and we're going to go through the whole motorcycle section where we have to deal with a bunch of guards, and we can basically do it with taking very minimal damage just from using this one camo alone. So after a few seconds, then the cutscene will start to play. We'll skip through all of this, and we're going to be inside Groznygrad in the sidecar of the motorcycle. This is a good time to save the game, just so we don't have to do that boss fight again. And this is going to be save number 19 for us at a time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 16 seconds. After saving it, let's go and equip that Mark 22. We don't need the suppressor on it for this part. And we're just going to roll ahead while looking kind of straight ahead at this point. We're stopped against this wall, and a few seconds later, Eva will start going. As we go toward this area, there's going to be some guards in here. We aren't going to get shot by them for the most part because we are using that Cold War camo. Don't forget to shoot the guard up in the top of the watchtower too. After we get rid of all of them, then we're just going to go around in this area. We're kind of on rails here. We can't control where we're going, only where we're looking for this part. So you want to just kind of look straight ahead as we go along, because there's going to be some more guards that come up in the next section. And we just want to stay facing the guards the whole time. If you're facing the guards, they don't shoot you, giving us a good opportunity to take them out. No matter where you hit the guards, it is a one-hit knockout for you in this section. So even leg shots or arm shots, doesn't matter. Shoot them in the pinky toe. They're still going down in one hit. Just make sure that you're always looking toward the guards. It gets a little bit difficult when you get surrounded by guards, but for the most part, there's going to be, only guards looking in one direction. So here we have 2 on the ground and then a few more up in the skywalk here. We'll just take them down one by one and we'll finish this section off. So one thing that you can do as well is use stun grenades, because when you're on this motorcycle you have infinite ammo, so you can throw stun grenades. I don't love doing that though, just because we'll probably spend a lot of the time with a very blank white screen, and that's not very exciting. It's also hard to tell where you're looking, so if you don't knock the guards out with that perfectly placed stun grenade, you'll actually probably take some damage and don't really know where to turn and look. So that's why I prefer to use the Mark 22, but stun grenades do work if you know where to throw them. So now we're going to proceed on. There's not a whole lot more that we need to do in this section. If you really want to, you can take some shots at the Shagohod using the RPG-7. If you hit it kind of in its throat area, you'll do a little damage to it, making the next section where we actually fight the Shagohod a little bit easier. But we're just going to go through here again, looking at the guards, making sure that they're not shooting us, and we're going to shoot them and knock them out. There's also going to be some guards that appear on rooftops, so just be mindful of that as you're going through this section. You do want to hit them because they have RPG-7s and they will do a lot of damage to us if we're not looking at them. So take out the one on the rooftop there, finish off all of his friends on the ground, and then we're just going to go around the section. Make sure that you're looking forward through here so that you can stop the guards from shooting you, but there are some behind us at this point too. You might take a little bit of damage. Don't worry though, you take very little from each individual gunshot, so you're not really at risk of losing a lot of health. And now we just have some guards who will start rushing at us down this hallway here. They're crouched, so they're a little bit harder to hit, but if your timing and your aim is good, you can take them out without much issue. There's going to be another guard up on the roof here, so just take aim at him as you go around and finish him off, as well as his friends on the ground here. Eva just likes to go back and forth through this area, making it a little bit more difficult for us. It'd be a lot easier if she just stopped and let us shoot them, but either way, we're going to make it through the section without taking much damage at all. And then we just have to go out the exit here and out onto the runway. The runway section's pretty easy. We just have to face those guards again. They're really just going to stay behind us for the most part. You want to shoot the guard on the right side of the pairs here. Those are the ones that are the drivers. If you take those ones out, then the other one will fall off as well because the motorcycle loses control. Now, when you take care of all of those guards, new ones will spawn in. So one strategy is just to either kind of ignore them or to shoot only the gunner on the side. That way they're not going to do a whole lot of damage to you. But I think it's more fun just to play the game the way that it was kind of meant to be played, with you shooting these guards and taking them out. So we're just tranquilizing them. We're not killing them, even though it probably in real life would kill them to be falling off motorcycles at high speeds like this. But, it's a game, and it is what it is. So we're just taking out these guards, having fun with it, trying to test our aim, and, you get to see how good my aim is. Sometimes I amaze myself, and sometimes I'm like, I'm a total potato as they go through this section, and it's a good fun going through here. We're not taking any damage because we're facing these guards the whole time with that Cold War ammo, and eventually you'll just move on from this section into the next one. A little bit more cutscene stuff, we'll skip through that. Now for this next part, the Shagohod's going to be running up close to us, so take out these guards a little bit, and then what you want to do is to grab your RPG-7 because we have to stop it from attacking us. You want to be aiming for its treads. If you can hit the treads, you can slow it down. He'll really do two attacks here. He'll either try to ram into you, and hitting his treads is a good way to stop him from running into us. He'll say, I'll grind you into dust, and then run forward and try to hit us really hard. He'll also say open fire, and he will start to launch missiles into the air. Grab your normal handgun, your M1911, and you're able to just shoot those out of the sky pretty easily. They're not too difficult if your aim is at least halfway decent to knock these things out of the air. One bullet will destroy those missiles in the air. Then just go back to shooting his treads, and we're just going to keep up this pattern the whole time. I strongly recommend that you use the tactical reload by equipping and unequipping the weapon. You see here I didn't do a great job of hitting the treads, so I did take some decent damage from him, and you definitely want to avoid that if all possible. You can only take a couple of those hits, and we do get a good opportunity to heal ourselves in the next section going forward, so don't worry too much about that. We're not really at risk of dying here as long as you can stop him from ramming into you more than once. Alright, so for the next section, we have to snipe the different little C3 charges down here. Take out the one on the left first, and then you want to take out the one all the way on the right side. That will cause this big pipe to swing, and there's a C3 on it. You want to aim carefully and knock it down. It helps to zoom in a little bit too, so you can get a better view of it. So once that one's gone, then just aim at the last one. When Eva tells you that it's here, shoot that, and then you can move on. So on the extreme difficulty, there's 4 that you need to take out. Take out the left one, then the right one, then the swinging one, and wait until she tells you to blow up the last one. Now we have to fight against the Shagohod. We're going to go ahead, call paramedic at the beginning of this one, and we're going to save the game at this point. So here we go, save number 20 at a time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 30 seconds. This fight's pretty easy. We're not really at risk of taking any damage, so we're going to equip that DPM camo that allows us to refill our health while we fight through this section. So we get 1 little pip of health about every 5 seconds that we wear this. And we're going to grab that RPG, and we just have to get into this pattern of shooting his treads and then shooting his back exhaust vent on the back of his head. This fight can take a little while just depending on your luck of how it moves, and there is a little bit of a delay in terms of its vulnerability phase, so you can't hit it multiple times in a row. It's about a 5-second pause between those things, so if you hit it really early, you might be able to get a second shot in if you sneak it in really close. Otherwise, just hit its treads, wait till you get behind it, and then shoot it again. So what I like to do is focus on the treads on one side. I know that if I'm going toward the right side, kind of circling around counterclockwise to him or anti-clockwise, then if I take out the tread on the opposite side, he can't really keep spinning the same direction and keep up with me. So I'll normally aim for the left one as I'm going toward the right, and if I'm going toward the left, then I'm going to aim for the tread on our right side, and that way we're able to kind of get through it pretty quickly and not worry too much about taking any damage from his attacks. And that should give us good opportunities to shoot his back exhaust vent and do some decent damage. So it takes a little while to get through this part, but we are healing up the whole time, and that's really handy for us as we go into the second phase of this fight. So there's not a whole lot more I have to say here. Attack the treads, attack the back of his head, and then you'll move on to phase 2. This fight took about 3.5 minutes to get through, but it wasn't very difficult, it's just time consuming, but we have more than enough time before we hit our time limit. Now that we're on foot, what we need to do is to hit him in the treads, and then switch the Maznagant and to shoot him in the head. If you shoot him from the front, it might not work very well, he has to be at somewhat of an angle to us. He's still focused on Eva, so grab your RPG and try to hit him in the treads. Now, I hit the wrong tread at this point because he's going to keep turning toward us, and that means that when I shoot him, it's from the front and doesn't work. So that's unfortunate, and now he's looking at us. If he's using his guns, run toward the camera, so run away from him and over to the side to escape that. We're going to put on the sneaking suit just to reduce any damage that might be coming our way, and now we're going to join the fight again by running toward him. If he uses this red laser beam thing, keep running toward the side, but run toward him to close the distance, kind of diagonally up and toward the left here. Now that we're close to him, he's going to try to run us over. That's what we want to see. So he's going to say, I'll grind you into dust, and go forward, shoot him with the RPG in the treads, then grab the Maznagant and shoot him from the back into his head. So we're going to get him into this loop now of trying to run us over. If he's following you like this, just turn around and go the opposite way, and that will cause him to try to run us over again. So now that he's going forward, we're going to once again shoot him in the treads with the RPG, back to the Maznagant, hit him in the head. We only have to hit him 4 times like this because we do 1/4 of a stamina damage with each Maznagant shot to the head. And once again, we're going to have him try to run us over, shoot him in the treads, and then grab the Maznagant, hit him in the head, and this fight's over. After the fight, we have some more cutscenes. Let's skip through this, and then we're going to be back on the motorcycle. This is another good time to call paramedic and save the game.
You want to save? I'll get right on it.
So here we're going to have save number 21 at a time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 9 seconds.
Snake, be
Because we're going to be chased by a bunch of guards, we're going to re-equip our Cold War camo so that we're not taking any damage from these. It's a pretty easy section. We're not going to take damage through this part, so we're just going to make sure that we have our Mark 22 equipped, and we get to go back to shooting guards. So a little bit more target practice. This is a very easy area. Once you take out the guards at the beginning part, then you're going to have some times where the guards will ambush you. There's going to be a couple motorcycles over on our right side as we're facing backwards. If you're facing forwards, they're on your left side. And you can just take them out when they show up. It's not very difficult. If you want to, you can throw a stun grenade at the group, and then you can knock them off really before they even start coming at you. And that's a good way to get through this pretty simply. But I like to have fun just by testing my aim and shooting these guards as we go along. We're not in any sort of danger whatsoever going through this front section. It gets a little bit hairier in the back part of this area, and I'll explain that when we get there. So this is the second ambush, and this is the final ambush that we have to deal with before we go on to the back side of this area. Okay, so we lost all the guards in this section, so now what we need to do is to turn around and face the front. So there's going to be a bunch of guards around here. We'll just shoot them as we kind of circle around this area. It might take a couple shots, but we don't take a whole lot of damage through this section, and it doesn't really matter because we'll be able to heal it up with that DPM camo in a later part anyway. So we'll take out these guards, go around here. A little bit ahead down the road here, there's going to be some more guards at the next blockade. So just face them. They won't be able to shoot us. We can shoot them, and just stay focused in their direction, and we'll just escape out the side without really having to worry about them too much. In the next area, we have a bunch of flying guys, and we can shoot them and knock them out. They will fall asleep and then crash into a tree, and somehow that doesn't kill them. This still counts for our no-kill run, and they're not doing any damage to us as long as we're focused on them. They're going to express their displeasure toward us multiple times as they can't shoot us. They're too afraid to hit us while we're having that Cold War camo on, and that gives us a good opportunity just to shoot them and move on. So you'll do this a few times as new guards keep respawning and coming up to you, but we'll just take them out and move on to the next area. A little ways into the area, then Eva will warn you that there is a log coming up ahead. So at this point, kind of ignore the guards. You want to focus on that log instead. Grab your RPG-7, look straight ahead, and there's going to be a log in your path. Take aim, shoot that log, get rid of it, and you can go through to the end of the section without hitting that log and taking a good amount of damage. There's not a whole lot to say about this next area. It's just a bunch of motorcycle guards coming after us, and we just have to take them out with the tranquilizer gun again. The guards will stay behind us and usually on our left side as we're looking toward the back, and we're able to take out the guards as we go along here. Sometimes Eva will call out like to the right. Now that's her right, we're facing backwards, so it's actually our left. So don't get tricked by that and accidentally turn your back on the enemy. You always want to do the opposite of the direction that she's telling you, as long as we're facing backwards. So we're just moving through this area and taking out the guards. I swear that some of them are immune to the stamina damage throughout certain sections of this, because I could have sworn that I hit them multiple times. I had pretty good aim, I felt, and for some reason they just weren't going down. And it's unfortunate, but whatever. We have infinite ammo. There's no restrictions on how much ammo we can use. This run is just so much easier than the Metal Gear Solid 2 run, because the metrics that are used to determine the top rank are just way more lenient in Metal Gear Solid 3 than they are for Metal Gear Solid 2. So if you haven't checked out that video yet, I do have a video covering that big boss rank for Metal Gear Solid 2. It's definitely a challenge. If you're up for it, then follow along. I'll be happy to help you get through that one, no problem either. Once you get back to the part where the guards are close to you, right behind, then you're very close to the end. Eva will say, "Here comes a jump," and tell you to hold on tight. That's how you know you basically made it to the end of the section. You'll go flying over this gap, and then you're going to be met with a couple cutscenes on the other side. Sorry for the screen glitchiness in this part. There's really nothing that you're missing, though, as it's going through this, because we just have some cutscenes and radio calls. Paramedic tells us that we need to cure Eva and Snake, so we're going to go into that cure menu. It does it automatically. We can't progress without doing this stuff, so you want to heal up Snake and Eva, and then once all of that red damage is gone, then you'll be able to proceed. Once we're all healed up, we're going to go ahead and save the game. So call paramedic, save the game. This is going to be one of our final saves that we have to do. We kind of planned it out so that we could get the right number of saves through the sections. This is save 22 at 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 51 seconds. Well, starting off in this section, we can run forward. You always want to be calling Eva towards you with the action button. She won't follow you unless she can see you and you tell her that it's safe to go forward. Let's put on the woodland face paint as well as putting on the DPM camo. That way we can regain our health. We definitely want to have full health by the time we get through this wooded section. So there's a snake ahead of us. We can shoot that thing if you want to eat a little food or give it to Eva. She's really the one who needs food because her stamina drops very quickly, and if it gets too low, she won't follow us anymore. So beckon her to keep coming forward. There is another snake in the back part of here, so you can shoot that, and we can use that if we want to. Otherwise, we do have, some other food that we can give her along the way. Just keep telling her to come along, and at this point, make sure that you have your Mark 22 with a good suppressor on. I noticed that the suppressor was almost gone, so I'll just shoot another shot to get rid of that suppressor, and then re-equip a fresh one so that we don't run out. And we're going to just keep going down along this path, and eventually you'll get a little cutscene, and then you will be put into a caution state with a bunch of guards chasing after us. So this part can be a little bit tricky, but I'll show you the best way to do that. Just keep running along here and get up toward the top of this area. There's going to be some bushes along the way, some ferns that you can get down into. So we're just going to lower our profile so that they won't be able to see us as easily. And then I like to grab a stun grenade and wait until they come around that corner and then just toss that grenade over there. That's going to blind them and really distract them. That gives me a good opportunity to take these guys down. So you can see them there, and we're going to just start shooting these guards and knocking them out.
Intruder. He should be around here somewhere.
So once they're out of the way, then we're just going to continue moving up the hill. Make sure that you tell Eva to follow you, and hopefully she's obedient and will actually follow you through this section, and then just go over the hill and keep running down to the side of it. Make sure you pop back up as she goes along because more guards will keep coming up. You basically have to go back and forth, leading her and then going back to check on her and shoot the guards behind. So she will call out if we've got company coming up behind us, and we want to be pretty quick about going through this section. And we are going to get kind of low on that Mark 22 ammo, but I'll show you how to scavenge some more as we go forward. When Eva tells you that she's tired, that means that she's below half of her stamina, so run close to her and then open up the food menu, give her either some noodles or a reticulated python that we just harvested from the ground, and that should give her enough stamina to keep going. So we're going to keep running around the bottom part here, and we're going to go around to this big rock outcropping between the trees and the rocks. When you get to about this point here, you do want to circle back around and go and check on her. So she's going to walk through here, and we're going to go over here and wait for these guards to come around the corner. We can go ahead and grab the Mark 22 and start taking these guys out. Realistically, as long as you get rid of one, the other guard will pause for a moment to inspect his friend. That gives us enough time to get around the corner here, and Eva will walk over toward this ledge where we are waiting for her, and when she gets close enough, then we'll automatically move on to the next area. As I was planning out this run, I factored in saving in these areas. So we reserved a save point for right here. That way we don't have to do that first section again. We can make another save in this section and then one more going forward. So here we go, save 23 at 1 hour, 46 minutes and 13 seconds. We're way below the 5-hour mark at this point. So we're really good going forward from here. So as we walk forward, there's a guard on our left side. We can shoot him, get rid of him, and then there's a couple more guards down ahead of us. So let's shoot the one immediately in front of us and then go forward a little bit so that we can see two more guards patrolling in the bottom section here. Ideally, you want to take them both out. I only took out the one on the left, and then the one on the right kind of escaped off the edge here. So what you can do is you can get him to come back by just shooting down in that direction. That will get his attention, and he's going to come running back our way. Take the opportunity to shoot his friend down in the lower section on the right side who's patrolling around here. Once he's gone, then we can either try to shoot the guy on the run, or the safer thing to do is just to lay down in the ferns right next to us. We have really good camo index, and we can take out the guard as he's walking toward us without being seen. Well, that's all the guards that we have in the top area. There is another section with a bunch of guards in a later part, but we're going to, at this point, grab Eva, tell her to follow us around, and we're going to go back down toward the bottom of this area where those two guards were patrolling. If you go ahead and start shaking these guards down on the way there, you can grab some Mark 22 bullets. So make sure you do that. We want to refill as much of our Mark 22 ammo as we can on the way out of this area, because we will need some for the next boss. So keep going. We're just going to get all the way to the bottom of this area, shaking down guards as we go and collecting some more Mark 22 ammo and other goodies. Here we have a fork in the road. We're actually going to take the left side because that will take us around this trail and we get up onto the high ground. And as Anakin found out, the one who has the high ground is the one who wins. Make sure that Eva follows you around here, and we're going to get up to the top part here, and we're going to have a very clear vantage point against the enemies. So if Eva starts complaining about being tired again, just ignore her for a little bit and run up to the top. There's these bushes here, these ferns that you want to get down into, and grab your Mark 22, and we're going to crawl into the ferns right up to the edge. We have 4 enemies to take out here. One is behind this log, so we'll shoot him, and then you saw the red exclamation mark on the left-hand side. There's one hanging out over here behind this tree. He'll run around, but then he'll come back to where he was, so shoot him. Now what we can do is go into a kneeling position, and there's going to be a guard right below us, so that's why we don't hop down. We take out that guard, and now there's one over a little bit on the right side. He's laying down, a little bit hard to see, but he's by this bent tree, so you you can shoot him. Grab your thermal goggles if you want to be able to see these guys a little bit easier. So that's all we have to do with those guys. Those 4 guards are eliminated. Let's give Eva some instant noodles just to make her happy and to refill her stamina so she'll follow us nicely. Now that she's all well fed and everything, we're able to set up for the final boss fight. So we're going to go into the uniform section and we're going to put on the sneaking suit just to reduce some damage from the initial attack from the boss in case we screw it up. And then we can equip whatever kind of face paint we want to. No paint is perfectly fine for this section. And we're just going to hop down here and then hug the left wall as we run around. And we just have to get Eva to follow us. You can take off the suppressor from the Mark 22 again if you really want to. It doesn't matter so much for this part. And then we're just going to go around following this wall until we get to the outside edge. And we're able to then move on to the final boss fight area. Okay, we're getting to the end here. Eva's behind us, so we're just going to go over toward this ledge. When she gets close enough, then we'll be put into a series of cutscenes. We'll skip through all of this, and then the boss is going to rush straight at us. And this is a little bit scary. You want to, number 1, save the game. This is going to be the last time we save the game, so this is going to be save number 24 for us. And it's going to come in at a time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 30 seconds. Now the boss is going to rush straight at us, so you want to wait until you hear Snake grunt, and that will be your cue to push the punch button. You can counter it and then throw her to the ground. Grab the Mark 22, shoot her twice in the head, and then run away. Now normally she will get up and then she will start shooting at you, but this time she actually ran at me. I missed the counter. At that point, take the analog sticks and start twirling them around in a circle. You can actually escape her grasp, and that means that you're not going to take a ton of damage. So at this point, what I like to do is, now that she's running away from me, I can put on the Sorrow's uniform, which is the spirit camouflage, and now she can't hear my footsteps, so I can sneak up on her and she won't hear me coming. So I'm going to wait behind a tree, and what you'll see is that she'll look out one direction and then she'll start looking out another direction. And that will give us an opportunity to sneak up on her when she starts looking around a different way. So hide behind a tree, wait until she looks out one direction. When she goes back, then run around, and you're able to sneak up around the tree from behind and knock her down. And then we're going to grab the Mark 22 and shoot her in the head a couple times. Then run around behind a nearby tree so that she doesn't see us and start shooting us. We have that tree to guard for us. She did try to grab me again, and I'm able to use that same trick of using those analog sticks to swirl around and to break free from her grasp. So we need to create a little bit of distance here. I don't want her to keep hitting me the same way that she's been hitting me before. My timing on those, grabs and the counters isn't so great, so I like to use that analog stick swirl to get away from that. Well, now we have a good opportunity to run close to her. We're able to counter her when she runs at us, and then we can slam her on the ground yet again and take her out. So that's kind of the basic strategy, is to counter her CQC and to take her out like that. However, there is another really good strategy that you can use, and that's to use camouflage. So something like the Oscam or Snow Camo. You can hide in the back, like run away from her along the far edges, and then what you'll want to do is to use the Maznagant. She won't see you, and you can hit her and do lots of damage. You can take out like half of her health pretty easily just doing it that way. So your two methods are either hide from her and shoot her from a distance with the Maznagant, or what you can do is to get close to her, use the spirit camo to mask your footstep noise, and then ambush her when she's not expecting it. It's a little bit riskier that way. It is faster, so I would recommend, if you've got a lot of time on your hands, go ahead and try that long range attack, and that will work out pretty well for you. Otherwise, if you're feeling pretty confident in your CQC abilities and your timing, then just fight her head on. This fight might take a couple of tries to get through, I know it did for me, but eventually it just kind of starts working and makes sense with the timing. When you hear that grunt, you really have to push that punch button right away. If you're a little too early or a little too late, you won't be able to get the counter. At that point, swirl those analog sticks to break free and then run away, create some distance, and then hide behind a tree, waiting for her to create an opportunity where we can run around and then ambush her and take her down. So I kind of ran out of that Mark 22 ammo toward the end of this fight, so I did have to go to the backup strategy where I had to kick her. So a punch-punch-kick combo, that kick will actually do a little bit of damage to her. Not as much as I would like, so it does take a little bit longer, and we are able to just keep up this cycle of trying to ambush her and take her down, and then I just have to start like punching and kicking her to take her down. So got a good counter attack here. We're able to punch her down, and then we're able to use up the last Mark 22 bullet, and then we can punch kick her, do a little bit of damage, run away from her.
Brace yourself.
She's coming after me again, so I brace myself and make sure that I get that good counter attack. We'll knock her down, and then we're able to kick her on the ground again, and when I hit her 2 times, then I want to run away from her. Always hiding behind a nearby tree so that hopefully she won't be able to shoot me. We'll close the distance a little bit, hoping to hide behind this tree, but unfortunately this one's not quite big enough. She did spot me back here, and she's going to run around and start to chase me. Luckily got the counter here, and I was able to take her down to just a very sliver, a single pixel of the stamina bar is left. So we want to run away here. This is where things start to go a little bit bad for me. So she's going to run around. I actually miss the counter. I miss the analog stick. So she takes away like half of my health. I can't survive another one of those. And I'm going to run away to try to create some distance here. And I'm going to go to the backup strategy of trying to use that Maz Nagant at this point. So I'm over here. I don't have a great camo index. If I had switched to the Oscam or something, I'd be a little bit better. So she sees me, starts shooting me, and I can't hit her with a gun when she is attacking me. It all comes down to this one moment. I get the counter attack, finish her off with a punch, and the fight is over. Whew, that one was close. I was really clenched up, if you know what I mean, going into that last little bit there. But we get the win, and the hard part is now over. Here's a mandatory scene that you cannot skip, so just watch it play out, and then when you are prompted to standing over her, you have to hit that weapon button to finish off the boss.
Take this. Keep it safe. It's our only hope.
Patriot. Why are you giving me this?
Jack. Or should I say, Snake. You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now. Do it. There's only room for one boss and one snake.
After that, we get some more cutscenes, so skip through that. We're going to be inside the plane with Ocelot. Choose either of the weapons, it doesn't really matter. If you choose the one on our right, however, we get to keep the single action army going into a new game from here. So that's all we need to do. We just have to wait around here, and this will conclude on its own, and then we have a bunch more cutscenes that we can skip and get through to the end where we wind up at the credits screen. Partway through all of this, you are prompted to save the game. I would say do not save the game at this point. There's really no reason to. There's nothing more that we have to do, and we don't want to add another save to our record here. This is the beginning of the credits. They are unskippable, so you just have to play through it. What I'm going to do, though, is just to skip through it. I'm going to fast forward it for you, and we're going to go at about 100 times speed just to fly through all of this. It does take several minutes to go through, however. Not a big deal because we're nowhere near our time limit. And once all that's done, we do get our results screen, and you can see we get the Foxhound rank and the associated trophy with that. And because this is the last trophy I got, I also get the Snake Eaten trophy for getting all of the other trophies in the game. So we beat the game on Extreme. Our official time was 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 19 seconds, about 3 full hours under our 5-hour deadline. We saved it 25 times, which I only saved it 24 times, so I think I screwed something up in there, but I did plan on only doing 24 times, and I did that on purpose just to save myself from making a mistake like that. There were no continues or alert phases, no humans killed through this, only 2 serious injuries, and our total damage was only 1 life bar out of the 10 that we could have done. We didn't use any life medicine. That DPM camo really came in handy. We don't have to worry about the number of plants and animals captured or the number of meals eaten, but they were minimal anyway. And we used no special items, so no easy gun, no infinity face paint, and no stealth camouflage. Doing all of that got us the Foxhound rank as well as Hideo Kojima's signature down in the approved by box. So congratulations, friends, we did it. Let me know down in the comments if you were able to successfully get that Foxhound rank and I can celebrate with you. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give me a like, as well as consider hitting that subscribe button. My current goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, and every person who joins is a valued member of our community. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you on our next adventure. Until then, have a good day.